Well, a local bank employee has been convicted of defrauding $2 million from various elderly accounts. Yu Sao was convicted earlier this month for stealing the money through his job at Key Bank. And our partners at Cleveland.com say elder fraud is such a growing problem.
It is a growing problem. It's something we talk about regularly on this newscast and others. Cleveland.com reporter Lucas DePryle joins us now in studio. Lucas, first of all, thank you for coming in and for the work that you've done on this. You did a lot of the original reporting on this case. Let's go back to the very beginning to find out exactly what was going on here and what was the scam.
So this is a bit of an unusual case when it comes to elder fraud, at least according to the FBI agent I interviewed for this story. Typically, when people are trying to defraud elderly people, they're pretending to be a bank. They're sending you a text message, an email, they're calling you and saying, hey, we need money right now, or hey, we're your bank and money's been taken that shouldn't have been. In this case, this is a rare case where this was a legitimate, honest-to-God bank employee. Yu Sao did actually work for Key Bank. And that's what sets this apart from some other scandals. Is, again, someone worked at the bank.
He was able to appear legitimate because he in part was.
And what made this also a little bit different is since he had access to their personal information, he actually made email accounts in their names, made online banking accounts in their names because they didn't have online banking set up and was able to move a lot of money around. Actually, to Key Bank's credit, Key Bank actually caught this. When I talked to the FBI, they told me their internal fraud investigators actually noticed that something was going wrong, that large sums of money were being moved out of really elderly clients' accounts and moved elsewhere, and eventually they were able to determine that it was this person. Now, it's worth being said, Yu Sao does maintain his innocence. I talked to his attorney, so they plan to appeal. So, you know, perhaps an appeals court will see different, but yes, he was convicted.
You know, this is on the rise. We know that. The FBI has come out and said elder abuse in this regard is just skyrocketing. So for anybody out there who's watching, and you know, we try to tell our parents, we try to make sure that they know the latest of what kind of scam it is, but what can people do really to make sure that they are protecting, say, their elderly parents or their grandparents?
Well, of course, there's no one perfect strategy or even a set of perfect strategies. But one thing, as I've talked to the FBI and as I've just kind of done some research on this, one thing that people can do is to set up alerts anytime something is moved out of their account. I mean, I have it set up on my credit card where if I buy a pair of socks on the internet, it'll send me an email. And yes, it's a lot of clutter. It's a lot of extra emails, extra messages. But, you know, if you see something, a couple $100 go through or move to an account, like, you know, my wife and I share a credit card, even if I see something that I don't expect, like, hey, did you buy this? Or what's this for? And we can work it out. But that's the kind of stuff that can kind of give you a heads up in case these things do happen. And if you are perhaps an elderly person, or if you are perhaps a caretaker for someone who's an elderly person, or, you know, maybe work with your family, whether it's a grandkid or a kid or a niece or a nephew, and they can deal with some of these things. And you could set a certain dollar amount. You know, it doesn't have to get an alert every time you buy a pair of socks.
Just remain diligent, like, be present.
You keep an eye on it.
Before we let you go quickly, what do we know about Sal's defense moving forward here? Is this something that he has a strong defense in, or no?
That's a good question. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Their attorneys are a little tight-lipped on it, as attorneys usually are when they're appealing. They don't want to tip off the prosecution as well. But, you know, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see where the case goes.
Yeah, all right.
And it's important to note, some of these people, these clients, were between 90 and 103. I mean, this is hard. It would be, I mean, sometimes it's easy for me to tell if it's a scam.
Sure, yeah.
When you're elderly like that and you maybe don't know technology like that, it can be really hard. So thank you very much.
Lucas, thanks for coming in.
Yep, thanks for having us.
We appreciate it,
you,
absolutely.
Lucas.